Pym. These are some of the brilliant scientists that did one of the most amazing things that any scientist couldn't have. Found a way to grow or shrink anything with just a click of a button.
When people are doing awesome at a certain thing, they are at least a cut above the rest.
Goliath, the giant of California, and Ant-Man, the shrinking and growing Avenger.
He's a Fey fan, not a game player. We're here to seal weapons, armors, and skills to find out who will win a death battle.
Dr. Henry Pym, an American biochemist with extensive knowledge in other scientific fields, married Mary Trovea, a brave and beautiful young woman who had been a political dissident in her native country, Hungary, from which she had fled. Naively believing that his American citizenship would protect her, Henry and Mary Pym traveled to Hungary shortly after their marriage. The Pyms were confronted by agents of the secret police there. Henry Pym was knocked unconscious and Maria was murdered. Why does this sound so familiar now that I think about Finding Nemo? Pym was greatly distraught by his wife's death and decided to do whatever he could in the future to battle injustice and inhumanity.
Long story short, he created a chemical substance only known as Pym particles, which makes everything shrink. He then makes a suit that can help him shrink with the particles and became Ant-Man.
I'm Ant-Man. I know. It wasn't my idea. One question. Is it too late to change the name?
I know that the name is sort of weird, but the name goes in two reasons that you'll find out. The first one is that his regular size is that he shrinks to the actual size of an ant, which is 2 millimeters. The other reason is that he can control many kinds of ants telepathically.
He did eventually find a way to make him grow into a big freaking giant. And no matter the size, he can kill with just one punch if he hits too hard.
When he's the size of a giant, he's invulnerable. His invulnerability has increased as well. Like, say you shoot a missile at him, it'll be like you throwing a party popper at somebody, or shooting him with bullets. That will feel like iron hamster pellets ramming at you or a tiny hailstorm. Even though he has awesome abilities, they come with some weaknesses.
He can go to any size he wants, but there is a limited amount of how small or big he gets. If he gets too big, his heart will give out and make him die. And if he gets too small, he will either find himself falling for an eternity or make a vortex that will destroy everything from existence. And same invulnerability increases while he does in size. It also shrinks with him too. If he's small, he can take a hit from a big Thomas Train toy, but he can still get squashed like any insect does when somebody thinks it's necessary to do it.
Even though he has these many weaknesses, he can still be one of the top of the food chain heroes. Now onto the Black Goliath.
Just show me what you got, Hank.
Never underestimate pretentious lab jockeys, Fury.
William Barrett Foster was born in the Watts ghetto of Los Angeles, California, and spent his childhood there. His higher-than-mean average intelligence and the influence of several good people enabled him to leave that ghetto and enroll in California Tech, where he acquired a PhD degree in biochemistry and where he met and married his college sweetheart, Claire Temple.
Unfortunately for both, over time, their relationship soared and the pair separated. Dr. Foster found work as a biochemist in plans and research division for Tony Stark's Baltimore's factory. He was hired to be a lab assistant of Dr. Hank Pym, the first giant man. When an unstable growing serum trapped Pym at the height of 10 feet, Dr. Foster helped him find a cure to change his size back to normal.
Dr. Foster moved to the West Coast to take over the research and development section of Stark International in Los Angeles and became the boss of the 3 different brilliant scientists known as the Whiz Kids. Having memorized the formula to Pym particles in his work with Pym, he synthesized it in the hopes of eliminating its harmful side effects. Eventually, when he tested it on himself, he found that it had indeed given him the ability to grow in size like his former employer, and that he had successfully duplicated Pym's powers.
And now to his powers. We know that his powers is just growing into a big giant, and his invulnerability and weaknesses is the same as Ant-Man's, except he can't really shrink. I mean, he can go back to his actual size, but nothing's smaller. But at least he can kick a serious butt.
Any avid reader and most Marvel fans would know that, in the comics, he is the 4th man to take up the mantle of Giant Man, and the 2nd to take up the mantle of Goliath. Some call him Black Goliath to avoid confusion, as I did earlier. But enough said about the few who can stand tall and meet the challenge ahead. It's time to see who will truly be the last one standing.
And the winner is Ant-Man. And those who are concerned, don't be alarmed. Please shut your mouths and refrain from the hate comments. And just hear us out.
Goliath has the powers to grow from Ant-Man's Pym particles. You're going to think now that maybe Goliath can shrink too. But he can only shrink to his normal size because he doesn't have the same technology that Ant-Man has to let him either shrink into the size of an ant or as big as a skyscraper.
There's no proof that Goliath growed any bigger than what Ant-Man can do. Plus, Ant-Man has the advantage because he has a whole army of ants that he can control. So if he wants to, he can distract Goliath and attack him in his back.
The winner is Ant-Man.
Thank you for watching our 6th Death Battle episode. We'll be uploading other videos more frequently, but we have a family trip this week. Subscribe if you don't want to miss our next exciting Death Battle.
Next time on Death Battle, 2 of the most powerful beings in fictional and satirical history fight head-to-head to earn the name most powerful superhero in the known universe and until the end of time. I'm talking about Kal-El and Kakarot. No, saying no! The Saitama, the One Punch Man. Okay, see you soon. Have a good one. Peace.